our national anthem.
A good engineer, a good mathematician, a good scientist can identify problems.
But in order to be a great scientist or engineer, you've got to have curiosity and you've got to have creativity, and that's what's going to set you apart.
You can't teach curiosity. You just need to encourage your students to be curious. Curious in anything that they do. Curious so that it brings out the innovations, the new ideas.
Since we're doing things so quickly, a lot of times we know that we need help. So our professors all know us by name.
Basically, everybody knows everybody here.
That one-on-one personal connection you're getting with the faculty, you don't get that a lot of places.
We are not just saying, here, go do this hard project. We are right there with them. We work with them.
The faculty are there for you.
Anxious over algebra? Call Ask Rose, the free science and math homework helpline. It's free world-class tutoring. Just call, chat, email, or screen share. Learn more at AskRose.org. Confused by chemistry? Call Ask Rose, the free science and math homework helpline. It's free world-class tutoring. Just call, chat, email, or screen share. Learn more at AskRose.org.
Number 6, Diana Rolag.
It's a chilly fall evening here in Terre Haute, Indiana. It is time for HCAC women's soccer action here on IndianaSRN as the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers get set to take on the Franklin College Grizzlies. Good evening, everybody. I'm Kurt Darling. Thank you so much for joining us here once again on IndianaSRN, as this is certainly an important matchup, especially for Rose-Hulman this evening. Again, they are just sitting third place in the HCAC conference standings. They can still possibly get a share of the regular season championship with a little bit of help from Hanover, Mount St. Joe, and Transylvania as well. But we'll have to see what happens here as they try to get a big conference W here tonight against a side in Franklin College that comes into tonight's contest 3-6-6 overall this season. They have certainly been racking up a lot of draws this year, only 3 wins as I mentioned, 2 of those coming in their last 6 matches. Speaking of their last 6 matches, they have gone right down the middle in each regard in their last 6. They were at home against Anderson back on September 27th. That was a 1-1 draw. Then they go scoreless against Mount St. Joe. They get shut out 3-0 in that one, but then they come back with a win on the road at Manchester. Then they draw against Bluffton, lose to Hanover, who's at the top of the conference so far, as I mentioned earlier, and then they are coming off of a 6-0 shutout of Defiance just a couple of days ago coming into this contest. So they have gone 2-2-2 in their last 6 matches coming into tonight's contest. Taking a look at the resume for Rose-Hulman coming into this one. They have had only 3 matches in that same time span that Franklin College has. They have only played 3 matches over the last 2 weeks. So they have not been able to get a whole lot of consistent competition going in that time span. They were at home against Anderson on October 4th. That was a 1-0 win, but then they had to cancel their match against Defiance 3 days after that, and then they go back home here again against Manchester, and that was a 6-0 shutout with 6 different players for Rose-Hulman getting on the score sheet in that one. But then they followed that up with a road game at Transylvania down in Lexington, Kentucky. That did not go the way that Rose-Hulman wanted it to go. That was a 2-0 shutout. So Rose-Hulman trying to bounce back here after just their second conference loss of the season just a couple of days ago. Looking at the starting lineups here for these two sides tonight, Franklin College going to be going with Jaden Baker as well as Deanna Rolag and Amira Curry, and then also Madison Claybrook. She's going to be the one to watch tonight. She leads the Grizzlies with 4 goals on the season. They're also going with Adex Bixler, the defender freshman here for the Franklin Grizzlies, as well as Megan Moses, Lauren Barker, Caitlin Duff, and Caitlin Hewitt. In goal tonight for Franklin is McKenna Mundy. She has recorded 1,350 minutes so far this season with 54 saves, but she has allowed 26 goals to get past her this season with a 3-6-6 record. Taking a look at the starting lineups now for Rose-Hulman. They're going to be going with a very high-powered offensive strategy this evening with Lauren Marquardt, as well as Camille Clark, Megan Fodor, the defense player as well, Kiana Martin, Ella Johnson, and Allie Smith. And then also rounding out the starting 11 here for Rose-Hulman is Jaden Gibson, Vianney Garcia, and Kyra Hicks. Speaking of Hicks, she too is the leading goal scorer for Rose-Hulman. She has 7 goals on the season off of 51 shots taken, so she really likes to pull the trigger whenever she is on the pitch. Camille Clark, though, she was a huge factor in their win against Manchester just a week ago. She had 3 assists. That is a season high for any player in Rose-Hulman so far this season in one singular match. We're set to go here, 90 minutes of action here in HCAC Conference Women's Soccer. And Rose-Hulman already pushing the issue here after Franklin got the opening kickoff. Kyra Hicks pushing it up the far sideline, and it's touched out of bounds there by Rose-Hulman, so it will be a Franklin College throw-in here. Again, as I mentioned, Franklin College led by Madison Claybrook, the junior, who has 4 goals this season, but she is actually more of a defensive player so far this year. In fact, today, Madison Claybrook is getting to start on the back line here, so she's not going to be maybe seeing a whole lot of goal-scoring opportunities, but those may come on free kicks as they become available, as well as maybe corner opportunities. So already a minute away, both of these teams just kind of feeling each other out here in the early portion of this match. The last time Rose-Hulman was here, they scored in the first 8 minutes against Manchester, which was eventually a 6-0 win for the Fighting Engineers. Rose-Hulman under the tutelage of Amy Hillowell, 133-120. In her 14th season at the helm of the Fighting Engineers, the road game at Transylvania marked Coach Hillowell's 100th loss as the head coach of Rose-Hulman. Here's an opportunity for Franklin College. That goes right off of the head there of Caitlin Duff, the senior striker. That was an excellent opportunity there for Franklin College to get on the board first, but that just squeezes wide right, or rather wide left of the upright of the goal. That's the first shot taken here by either team this evening. That one was just off target, though. And now Rose-Hulman going to try and get back here in this one. Franklin College had a lot of success in the mid-20 teens. In fact, back in 2016 and 2017, they won back-to-back HCAC championships. Both of those seasons accumulating 16 wins overall with berths in the NCAA D3 tournament. But since then, Franklin College has kind of fallen on some hard times a little bit. In fact, they haven't finished higher than 6th in the HCAC conference standings ever since those successful years in which they won titles. Throw in here for Franklin College as Rose-Hulman having a little bit of a hard time getting in rhythm on the possession. Time of possession is what really benefited Rose-Hulman in their win over Manchester a week ago. Speaking of possession, Rose-Hulman able to knock it ahead. Kyra Hicks trying to work it into the 18 of Franklin College, but that's going to be an easy handle there for McKenna Mundy. And she will send it back into the midfield here for Franklin College. McKenna Mundy, the goalkeeper for Franklin. Again, as I mentioned, 54 saves this season. A native of Noblesville, a soccer powerhouse in the high school ranks of the IHSAA here in Indiana. She was an HCAC All-Honorable Mention in 2022. And she certainly had her hands full against Hanover earlier this season, where she faced 16 shots on target and let 4 get by. Sent into the 18 here off the rebound, putting it up and over the line there. Just out of play there for Rose-Hulman was Jaden Gibson. She puts that over the upright, and it'll be a goal kick here for Franklin College. So Rose-Hulman gets their first crack at firing a shot here. Again, that one off target, so that's not a shot on goal. And Franklin College once again will put it back in play. Off the chest of the midfielder there, that's Ella Johnson, the sophomore here for Rose-Hulman. And so far here, Franklin College has been able to keep Rose-Hulman from playing the possession ball. That is what they are best at, is keeping possession and just waiting for their opportunity to arise. So a plethora of throw-ins here for the Fighting Engineers as they matriculate it down the field, as good old Hank Strand from American football ranks would say. So through the first 5 minutes, both teams have only gotten one shot off, neither of them on target. And now we have a free kick as the throw-in mishandled there by Rose-Hulman, and it'll go to Franklin College here. So free kick deep in their own territory, and it will be McKenna Mundy to do the honors here. So Mundy puts that back along the far sideline where the ball has stayed here for the better part of the last 2 minutes or so. They have not been able to use much of the rest of this very large pitch here at the Rose-Hulman intramural field. So I mentioned Rose-Hulman's head coach, Amy Hellowell. Franklin College, under the tutelage of Jennifer Jackson in her second season at the helm of the Grizzlies, only won 6 matches so far in her time, but she has certainly a proven pedigree as a head coach. Rose-Hulman on their heels now, feeling the pressure a little bit as Claybrook again moving up ahead this time. So Claybrook moving all over the field here at the moment. She started as a defender, but now she is up in the striker position. In fact, that just touches off the top of her head, but goes out of play, and it'll be a goal kick here for Lily Dora, who gets the start tonight for Rose-Hulman in goal. 991 minutes, 39 saves. She's only allowed 12 goals into the net this season, which is among the better stats among goalkeepers in the conference this season. Volleyed up with a couple headers. Kiana Martin sets things up here for Kyra Hicks. And Rose-Hulman going to try and move the ball down the field here, but that goes just out of the reach of the attacking forward, Kiana Martin. And Franklin College with the throw in again. So it has certainly been a lively match so far here, with both teams getting equal amounts of time on the attack. As Hicks will put pressure here on Mundy to put it back in. Headed up this time by Marquardt. Camille Clark now with it. Gets it back to Marquardt here on the near sideline. Marquardt tries to move it up towards the 18. Crosses it into the penalty area looking for Clark. Inside now, shot inside, and it doesn't go in. A well-defended play there by the back line of Franklin College. That was Kiana Martin pulling the trigger there, and that is going to be awfully close there for Rose-Hulman. They're turning up the wick now. And Hicks with an awkward header into the side of the net. Another opportunity there for the Fighting Engineers. Comes up empty, but still Franklin College getting a little bit queasy now on their back line as Rose-Hulman fires 2 shots there, one of them on goal in the last 20 seconds or so. Franklin dodges a bullet for now. The Grizzlies now trying to hold their own in the midfield, but the midfield here for Rose-Hulman sticking to them like Velcro. Throw-in coming up here for Franklin College. Loose ball, corralled here by the Fighting Engineers. Clark now sets it up on the near side here for Smith, the freshman. Sends it on, and nobody home there as everybody tried to stay onside, and the ball will just roll out the back line for a goal kick. So again, McKenna Mundy has certainly been busy here over the last 5 minutes. She's faced 3 shots so far here today and has been sending it out on goal kicks for the last 5 times or so. Marquardt keeps it here on this side of the pitch, and she is able to wiggle her way down the mid-side line. She's touched from behind, and that will be a free kick here from a very precarious spot for Franklin College. This amounts to a corner for Rose-Hulman. So Marquardt will do the honors here as every other Fighting Engineer attacker setting up on the far side of the penalty area. Marquardt with the ball in the air, sends it up, headed up. Nobody home as Kyra Hicks tries to track it down. Marquardt will cross it back in, putting it up again, trying to find Hicks. And it's defended out and cleared by Franklin College. So as I mentioned, Rose-Hulman, they play the possession game as good as anyone in the HCAC, and they have been doing a good job of keeping the ball at their feet here over the last 6 minutes. Price with it, the midfielder playing on the back line here today for Franklin College. She's trying to meander her way up to at least keep Rose-Hulman from setting up another attack, but here's Hicks just outside the 18, and she pushes it long this time to Gibson. And Gibson can't track that one down. So if there's been any glaring issue here for Rose-Hulman in the early going, it's the fact that Franklin College has had more throw-ins than they have had so far. They keep pushing the ball out of play and turning it over back in possession. But as I speak, Rose-Hulman gets a throw in here. Putting it up now, Camille Clark gets harassed along the sideline, and it will be a throw in for Rose-Hulman. They're close to the far corner. Jaden Gibson, the midfielder here, a junior, taking the throw in. Already 1 goal this season, a native of Brownsburg. Just a straight drive up there, I-70, then up 267 to the northwest side of Indianapolis. Corralled here by Franklin College. They try to give themselves some breathing room, but they have not been able to get it across midfield over the last 4 minutes or so. Grizzlies trying to get organized, but the pressure is on here from Rose-Hulman. Gibson comes away with it. Loose ball, again a throw in for the Engineers. Rose-Hulman 5-3-1 on the year coming into tonight's contest. Again, 4-2 in conference play. Franklin College, on the other hand, as I mentioned at the top, they are 2-2-2 in their last 6 matches. That is also their conference record. Shot up over here, across, and nobody home that time as Lauren Marquardt was not in position to take the header there from Camille Clark. Still, Rose-Hulman has been able to live in the penalty area of Franklin College for the better part here of this half. And Franklin College finally able to clear it out into the Rose-Hulman zone. Loose ball. Taken up, and a favorable bounce there to Allie Smith, the freshman. Her pass is stolen away here by Franklin College, batted around like a pinball. And the Grizzlies come away with possession only for a moment. Kenzie Price tries to move it back up. And it goes out of bounds. A throw in here for Franklin College. So Kyra Hicks trying to do what she can here on the attack. She has been a menacing presence so far. She's already had a couple shots taken, but nothing on target so far. Again, 3 shots here by Rose-Hulman in the first half. Only 1 by Franklin College. That caught Rose-Hulman a little bit off guard there at about the 43rd minute or so. Again, in NCAA college soccer, the clock counts down from 45. It does not count up to 45 like it does in international rules. There's also no stoppage time. Franklin College now getting something a little organized here. Moving it up here is Claybrook. Claybrook now, top of the 18, gets it back up top, has her teammate this time, Rolag. And now here's Price. Loose ball fought for here by the Engineers, and it's stolen away here. Kyra Hicks going to try and move it up here. Hicks gets it to Marquardt. And now Rose-Hulman getting organized. Here's Marquardt again. She gets hit. No foul, but Hicks comes away with it, moving it ahead as she moves it long. Loose ball taken by Martin. Martin to Gibson. Back into the middle, trying to find Clark. Stolen away here by Franklin College. Bixler sends it long this time, and it will be handled by Lily Dora. Lily Dora, the goalkeeper here for Rose-Hulman, a native of Lafayette, Louisiana. Appeared in 4 matches just a season ago, but she has gotten the start in every match so far here this season. Baker pushes it ahead, has Claybrook. Claybrook being harassed this time by Vianney Garcia, the freshman defender. And Garcia's defense is palpable only for a moment as it results in a throw-in here for Franklin College. Vianney Garcia, the freshman, again a native of Gilroy, California. Played soccer, cross-country, track and field, and was also a water polo competitor in high school. Franklin College keeping things here. Bixler tries to push it over this time to Kinsey Price. And a little bit out of her reach, a throw in here for Rose-Hulman. Just missing the header that time was Camille Clark. And Franklin College gets possession for the time being. Rolag sends it up. Tries to find Claybrook. And the pass a little bit too long. So the passing here for both squads a little suspect here over the last few minutes or so as they have gone back and forth. Goal kick here for Rose-Hulman, and it will be Garcia to take the honors. Garcia with a line drive kick. That's a hard one off the thigh of Bixler. And Franklin College trying to at least get an opening. But the back line of Rose-Hulman has been stout. Bixler again in the midfield. Pushes it ahead. This time Baker looks ahead now, tries to find Claybrook. Back to Bixler again. Far side this time to Baker. And trying to turn the corner there was Caitlin Duff. She had the header earlier that was nearly in the far sideline there for Franklin College, but it was to no avail. Coming up this time, that's a little bit of a close call that time there for Franklin College as McKenna Mundy had to wait in the penalty area to get the ball with her hands. Quickly back again, though, come the Grizzlies. Here's a run now. Far side this time. And nothing working there that time as Lauren Barker, the freshman striker, couldn't quite get a foot on it, but it will be a corner kick coming up here, or rather a throw-in, excuse me, for Franklin College. Lauren Barker has scored 3 goals this season for Franklin College. She tried to get something going on the attack. She started 11 matches of the 14 that she's played in this season, so this is her 12th start this evening. Marquardt in a foot race here with Price. Marquardt, one of the better ball handlers on this Rose-Hulman squad. Looks for a little bit of assistance that time, but it gets touched out of bounds. And a goal kick here for Franklin College. Good defense that time by the back line of the Grizzlies. May have some substitutions here in a matter of moments for Franklin College as Coach Jennifer Jackson discusses things on the sideline here with her side. Approaching the 20-minute mark here of the opening half, and still no score for both of these squads, but it's not for a lack of trying. 3 shots taken here by Rose-Hulman in the early going, only 1 shot taken so far here by Franklin College, and we will have a substitution here at the next dead ball. Looks like it'll be Jetta Norris, the sophomore midfielder, who will check in here for Franklin College. And she's going to be coming in here at one of the attacking positions here for Franklin College, as Caitlin Duff will come out here with her a breather. Again, those of you new to college soccer, unlimited substitutions. So if a player comes out of a game, they may return. Unlike in international play, once a player subs out, they are done for the day. Throw in here right at midfield here for Kinsey Price and Franklin College. Sent into play. Loose ball headed up here by Rose-Hulman's back line. Camille Clark comes down with it, and she touches it out of bounds. Rose-Hulman has scored 25 goals so far this season. That's an average of about 19 shots per game. They have had 117 shots on goal this season out of 238. As a shot goes up atop there along the 18, but the attackers offsides. And so Rose-Hulman, regardless of if that went in or not, getting a little bit of a break right there, as Madison Claybrook just a little bit back of the last defender. And so a free kick here for Rose-Hulman. Garcia with a big boot, just misses the head of Hicks. On the attack here, Franklin College again. And Jetta Norris couldn't quite get that one to go for the time being, but again, here's Adex Bixler, who has been an Energizer bunny in the midfield so far here in this contest. Adex Bixler from Martinsville, Indiana, but she attended Center Grove High School in Johnson County. She's only scored 1 goal this season. That was off of a penalty kick versus Defiance. That was back in their previous match in which they won 6-0. Price looking that time to try and find Baker, but it goes out of bounds. Looks like it was touched out of bounds by Rose-Hulman. Throw in here for Franklin. Marquardt in a lot of traffic. Nearly has it stolen away, and it is stolen away there by Claybrook. Into the midfielder, sent up there by the 10, Amira Curry, the freshman midfielder. Curry keeping control, but feeling a lot of pressure there from Gibson. And it's pushed out of play, and a throw in for the Engineers. Bixler working the midfield again. Has help here from Price. Price has had her name called a lot here this evening. She's been getting a lot of pressure here on the back line. Loose ball. Picked up by Bixler. Sends it up. Nobody home that time, as the attackers weren't quite ready on the attack that time, as it goes past the foot of Barker. And sending it back into the midfielder there. Field is there, Lily Dora. Whistle and a free kick here for the Engineers. And now Franklin will have another substitution at the next dead ball. Free kick here going to be taken by Garcia, just this side of midfield. Garcia, long ball into the penalty area just for a moment before it's tipped back out into the midfield. Coming on the attack here is Barker. She has a little space before it's quickly closed up there by Ella Johnson. Bixler. Loose ball. And Heasley. Riley Heasley, the freshman, getting a touch on that back in here to the zone, trying to find Hicks. Rose-Hulman has not been able to get any kind of attack organized here over the last 5 or 6 minutes. And now we'll have several players get set to check in here for Franklin College. Sent in this time, Marquardt in the penalty area, a little bit out of her reach, and she can't keep it in play. Goal kick coming up here for Franklin College. But we'll now see Macy Stuck as well as Jada Tooley and Maggie Matthews check into the ball game here this evening. 2 freshmen and a senior here coming in as 8X Bixler will check out of the ball game. Bixler turning in some excellent minutes there in the midfield for Franklin. Claybrook harassed in the midfield this time. So Franklin has been able to dominate some time of possession here over the last 5 or 7 minutes or so. But they haven't been able to get anywhere close and organized into the penalty area here of Rose-Hulman. Dora takes the ball here again on the handle. So that's been the extent of the attack here over the last few minutes here for Franklin College. They've been able to get some good feeds inside, but no one able to get onside enough to try and get a crack at the goal. Handled again here by Franklin. Taken away. Here's Johnson. Finds Marquardt. Marquardt pumps the brakes. Tries to find her opening. Gets it back this time here to Johnson. Johnson shot inside, a little bit wide that time from up top of the 18. And Johnson records her 23rd shot of the season, the 4th of the night overall here for Rose-Hulman. Excellent opportunity as she caught Mundy a little bit sleepy there on her heels along the goal line. But luckily that one just off target. So far, no shots on goal by either team here so far. It's only been a few shots taken overall, but they have been off target. Rose-Hulman set to make their first substitution here of the evening at the next dead ball. It'll be Katie Choi coming in here in just a little bit, the sophomore midfielder. In the middle again, Johnson. Here's Marquardt. Marquardt has Hicks. Oh, that would have been an excellent opportunity. She would have been onside, but Deanna Rolog with a big foot right there to break up the attack. Rose-Hulman going to try again. Marquardt keeps it in front of her. Moves around inside. She gets touched from behind, and it'll be another foul coming up and a free kick for Rose-Hulman. And so Marquardt going to get another crack at this one. She did have the same look on a free kick earlier in this contest. That was about 15 minutes ago. Foul on Kinsey Price there. So Marquardt waiting for her opportunity here. The attack coming in. She sends it up. Headed in, and it's up. Oh, it's just in the wrong direction that time there by Megan Fodor, who got a crack at that one. There's another shot, and that will be a shot on goal that time there by Marquardt. And that one's just a little bit too soft that time, as it's an easy handle there by Mundy. So Rose-Hulman coming in spurts here on the attack. And now Clark has a little bit of an opening. She has some help in the penalty area. She moves it in, tries to cross it up. And a big grab there by McKenna Mundy coming out of the goal that time to rack it up and break up the attack. So Rose-Hulman has found those chinks in the armor here of Franklin College. But so far, excellent play by the junior goalkeeper. McKenna Mundy has been stellar here for the Grizzlies to keep the ball out of the net. Again, Rose-Hulman can't afford a draw here in this contest if they want to have any shot with just a few games left in conference play. They would still need some help from Hanover as well as Mount St. Joe, both of whom are undefeated in conference play. Rose-Hulman can still have a shot, at least a share of the conference championship if there's a little bit of miscues here from Hanover and Mount St. Joe over the last few matches. You can also throw in Transylvania as well. Rose-Hulman keeping it in play that time as Allie Smith trying to find Hicks inside, but no dice. Still, Rose-Hulman able to keep possession here as we tick inside of the final 15 minutes of this opening half. Here's Johnson. Gets it over to Marcourt. Marcourt crosses it into the penalty area. Coming on the attack is Clark, but not before Mundy reels it in. The Engineers are getting their opportunities, but so far nothing connecting. In the midfield again, Marcourt has been all over the near sideline. And Marcourt will put it back into her defensive sideline as they'll reset. Far side Clark. She can't quite keep the handle as Maggie Matthews is able to reel it in and put it out of play here for a Franklin College throw-in. I mentioned the scoring for Rose-Hulman in the early going there. Again, they've had 25 goals this season. Franklin College, much less so. They only had 14 shots find the back of the net. They've taken 70 shots on goal so far this year overall out of 125 attempts. So that is pretty much half of what you find from Rose-Hulman on the offensive end as we have the first corner of the night. And it will be for Rose-Hulman. So Jaden Gibson. Gibson will send it in. Headed up. Hicks almost off the top of the goalpost that time. And that is a huge break for Franklin College as that goes off of the bottom of the crossbar and stays in play. It does not go in. That is the closest Rose-Hulman has gotten all night to try and get one on the board, and it does not find the back of the net. We'll take a look at this again. An excellent service here by Gibson. And then that was just off of the foot of Hicks and then off of the back of one of the defenders for Franklin, and it deflects right up into the crossbar and does not quite have the angle to get into the goal for the first one of the night. So we play on with Goose Eggs on the scoreboard. Sent back in again. Onside here is Rose-Hulman, but just ahead of them is Mundy. That time it was Choi who checked in there at that dead ball, coming on the attack. Again, Choi came in relief against Manchester and got her second goal of the season. And she literally has not played a minute yet and almost got the first goal of this contest here for the Engineers. Here's Martin, feeling the pressure from the back, that time from Megan Moses, the sophomore defender. And it'll be a free kick here for Rose-Hulman off of the foul there by Moses. Rose-Hulman has had a lot of free kicks from either side of the penalty area, which have amounted to corner kicks, although they've only had one official corner so far this evening. Sent in, put up, nearly in, and it goes outside again as it's well defended there by Franklin College. On the rebound, though, that time was Johnson, but it gets caught up in traffic. Rose-Hulman still with an opportunity. Gibson tries to find Choi, but just getting in front of her is Moses. Corner kick coming up again here for the Engineers. So Gibson directing some traffic. Another tall service in, headed up that time by Fodor, and it goes over the crossbar and out of play. 7 shots now taken by Rose-Hulman. Only one of them have been on target so far this evening. Mundy sends it back in. Throw in here for Rose-Hulman. Into the final 10 minutes here of this opening half. Both teams have had plenty of opportunities, but only one shot taken by Franklin so far. They may get another one here. Here's Claybrook, top of the 18, waits a little too long to wind up on that one, and it's well defended by the back line of Rose-Hulman. That was another golden opportunity right there for Franklin that couldn't quite materialize. Sent up here, a foot race for this one. Choi working one-on-one there with Moses, and Moses will send that out of play, a throw in for Rose. Clark takes the throw in. She sends it back here to Heasley. Heasley back to Gibson. She has to get rid of it quickly, but still some good touches here. Sent in here by Gibson, trying to find Choi off of the rebound, and that goes into the penalty area and easily handled by Mundy. Another shot there by Rose-Hulman, their 8th here of the evening. Rose-Hulman out shooting Franklin College 8-1 so far. Franklin with another substitution in a matter of moments. Here's Matthews working up the far sideline here for the Grizzlies. She gets harassed on the back line, and it goes out of play there by Heasley. So in comes Maddie Alexander here for Franklin College. She is a graduate student in her 5th year with the Grizzlies. She has played in 40 matches over that time span with 8 starts. Playing for Franklin, she's also a native of Franklin, Indiana. Clark with a nice touch, turns the corner. On a quick run up here along the far sideline. She brings it into the middle, has some space, pumps the brakes a little bit, gets through a whole lot of traffic. Clark trying to find somebody in the middle of the penalty area, but nobody home. A little bit off target there, trying to find Choi, but that was an excellent run there by Camille Clark, the sophomore striker. Coming in now will be Tracy Orega. So Tracy Orega coming in here, the senior midfielder, and she will come in relief of Ella Johnson. Choi tries to cross it in, and it's quickly moved back out here by the back line of Franklin. Approaching the final 5 minutes here in this one. In the first half anyway. Here's an opportunity crossed in here. Loose ball tipped up and off the crossbar again by Marquardt. Loose ball again, though. Clark tries to get it again, and no dice there. Top of the 18 again, and it's cleared out by Franklin College only for a moment. Tipped back into the penalty area again. Nobody home there, and Mundy comes away with it there. What a shot there by Lauren Marquardt. If it had just been a little lower, that would have been in for one. We'll take a look at this again. Just a nice touch off of the single touch there by Lauren Marquardt. And we play on with zeros on the board. Touched out there by Franklin. Rose-Hulman throw in here. It will again be Allie Smith to take it. And we have a whistle before the throw in goes in. They have to reposition her just a little bit as she moved a little bit too far down the sideline. 9 shots taken now by Rose-Hulman. They certainly know how to pull the trigger when they want to. And it has resulted in 25 goals this year. Clark lets Franklin put that one out of play. Another throw in. Marquardt crosses it in. And still a little bit long for anybody to field that one, but it'll go into the boot of Heasley with a long ball inside. Tipped up, and that will be a shot on goal from about 30 yards out there by Riley Heasley. What a touch there by the freshman midfielder. And now a corner for Rose-Hulman. And having to just tip that one over the crossbar there was Mundy. Crossed in again. Rose again trying to get the header. And coming in that time was Fodor. Couldn't find it. Fodor tries again. And it'll be cleared out again here by Franklin. Just ever so slightly. But still, Gibson finds Heasley again. Crosses it up. And Marquardt can't track that one down. A couple of excellent touches there by Riley Heasley. Again, the freshman midfielder playing on the back line tonight. She has been really far up, though. She's a native of Lexington, Kentucky. Scored in her very first game this season as a freshman, mind you. That was against Knox. And that ended up being a 4-0 victory for Rose-Hulman. Approaching the final 3 minutes here of half number 1. Touched up, nobody ready there for the Engineers. Nifty header there by Smith to keep it in play. Marquardt working it into the middle and touched out of bounds here for a throw in for Franklin. The Grizzlies trying to get something here before the end of the half. Putting pressure now is Barker. And now it'll be a free kick here for Rose-Hulman. Or rather a throw-in for Rose-Hulman. No, it'll be a free kick here, excuse me. And Smith will take it from deep in her own territory. She puts it back into the midfield. Unable to keep control is Franklin. And some good ball movement there by Orgera. Franklin looking for space. And Hewitt will reset here on the offense. In the midfield is Tooley. And between Moses and Tooley as well. Back to the near side. Price with a minute and a half to go. Back and forth they go. And Franklin just can't find any opening. Choi. Gibson. Stolen away here by Franklin. The Grizzlies may have a little bit of a run here, but Riley Heasley is able to break up that attack as you hear the 1 minute mark from our PA announcer. Rose-Hulman have had 10 shots here, a couple of them on goal, to only 1 shot taken by Franklin. Franklin got 1 shot off in the opening 3 minutes, but they have not been able to get any shot at all ever since. Price looking for an opening far away. Choi comes away with the steal. Into the final 30. Marquardt, she's been all over the place here this evening. Marquardt sends it up, tries to find Choi, nothing there. And in the final 15 seconds,
10, 9,
and Rose-Hulman
7,
content to let this
6,
just tick out here
5,
as they'll try to
4,
regroup
3,
for the second half.
2, 1.
So that's the end of the first half here at the Rose-Hulman Intramural Field. And it has certainly been interesting so far as Rose-Hulman 10 shots taken to 1 by Franklin. A couple of them on goal as well for Rose-Hulman, but none of them have been able to find the back of the net. And so with that, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, we have a special guest coming with us as Adam Rosen, the head coach of the Rose-Hulman baseball team, will join us here for a quick chat here during the offseason. Stick with us right here. It is 0-0 here at the halftime here on the IndianaSRN.
A good engineer, a good mathematician, a good scientist can identify problems.
But in order to be a great scientist or engineer, you've got to have curiosity and you've got to have creativity, and that's what's going to set you apart.
You can't teach curiosity. You just need to encourage your students to be curious. Curious in anything that they do. Curious so that it brings out the innovations, the new ideas.
Since we're doing things so quickly, a lot of times we know that we need help. So our professors all know us by name.
Basically, everybody knows everybody here.
That one-on-one personal connection you're getting with the faculty, you don't get that a lot of places.
We are not just saying, here, go do this hard project. We are right there with them. We work with them.
The faculty are there for you.
Anxious over algebra? Call Ask Rose, the free science and math homework helpline. It's free world-class tutoring. Just call, chat, email, or screen share. Learn more at askrose.org. Confused by chemistry? Call Ask Rose, the free science and math homework helpline. It's free world-class tutoring. Just call, chat, email, or screen share. Learn more at askrose.org.
Welcome back to the campus of Rose-Hulman Institute for Technology here on IndianaSRN. It is 0-0 as Franklin taking on the Engineers so far here for women's college soccer action here in the HCAC. Rose-Hulman going to try and get a goal going into the second half. But first, let's go ahead and switch some gears and talk a little baseball. We are privileged to be joined by Adam Rosen, the head coach of the Fighting Engineers baseball team here on IndianaSRN. Coach, thanks so much for joining us here this evening. Obviously, fall, you guys are in your off season right now, but still a pretty busy time for you guys getting ready for the season in the spring.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, Kurt. It's definitely a busy time for us. We're kind of on the back end of our fall practice period right now. We got practice tomorrow, and then we'll have 2 more next week to kind of wrap up our fall. It's been competitive. Guys are working really hard, so excited to kind of wrap this up, head into the off season, get ready for the spring season coming up.
So you guys went 23-21, if I'm not mistaken, a season ago. You guys finished 4th in the conference after finishing 2nd the year before. So what's kind of been the mentality, obviously now going into your 3rd year here in Terre Haute? What's the mentality been so far as you guys try to keep progressing in the right direction with the program?
Yeah, I definitely want to just keep building. We had a young team last year, and also had a couple of big injuries early in the season that hurt us. So as a result of that, a lot of experience returning for us next year. I feel like the guys coming back have worked really hard, going back to the end of last season throughout the summer. So excited about their development, and just want to keep moving the program forward. I know before I got here, Coach Jenkins had a ton of success with the baseball program, and want to continue that and hopefully take it to another level in the future.
You've certainly had success as well in previous programs you've coached. You came from WashU before coming here to Rose-Hulman. Just for anybody who's not familiar with the program, what was the big draw to bring you here from St. Louis?
Yeah, I look at it the same way recruits and our players look at it, in terms of the balance of the great education, the great on-campus environment, but also the chance to compete and win championships and play at a high level. And this is a place where you can do all of that, and I felt coming in just really comfortable with the environment, the atmosphere on campus. Like I said, the quality of the education that our players get to experience, the opportunities that creates for them while they're in school and also once they graduate. But at the same time, we can still win and play at a high level and compete for championships within our conference, and hopefully even beyond that on a national level. So it really is a place where you can have the best of everything.
You mentioned you had a young team a season ago, so now they're going to be 1 year older coming into next year, as well as you had a couple players, though, as well, earned some all HCAC honors as well. So what's it been like having some of your older guys kind of mentor those young guys, and now knowing that they have more experience, certainly maybe a little bit more confidence going into this year?
That's huge. Last year a lot of guys were playing that hadn't had a lot of experience, so bringing those guys back, just feel really comfortable with what they've been able to do the last couple years. And I think for me in my third year, guys know what to expect out of me and our staff. So you mentioned the older guys mentoring the younger players. That's definitely taken place. You can see it, and I feel like we're just creating more depth within the program, more player-led leadership, which is a big thing for me. And just excited about the progression we've made as a program the last few years, and hopefully this year, my third year, we take another big step forward.
So in this fall period now, coming off of your guys' season, which ended about July, August, so now you guys get kind of in this off season. What do you focus on as far as just developing, especially bringing in some new guys as well?
Yeah, you want to create a competitive environment. So every day we go out to the field, I want to be competitive with practice, with our drills. We also do a lot of inter-squad activities, so guys are competing against each other. Talked about competitive depth. Like, I want to make sure every time we get on the field, guys know that they got to work hard. And if they're not working hard, other guys in the program are. And all the guys want to play. They all want to be on the field, and they know that if they're not putting work in throughout the year, that they're not going to get those opportunities. The fall is a huge period for college baseball. The weather's good, first off, but you're on the field for a lot of time, and the combination of the skill development, the competitive opportunities, but also just building the team, building the competitive culture that you want within your program. So, I think any winning program, the fall period is a huge window for development, and also just kind of preparing for the spring season.
So building towards that spring season, when do you guys get going with that, and who do you play first this year?
We open the season the end of February against Emory University down in Atlanta. So we'll start practice the end of January, believe it or not. We'll be over there in the rec center most likely with the weather. But we'll start games the end of February. We'll take our southern trip, so we'll start in Atlanta and then finish the trip in Florida. So guys look forward to that, getting some good weather and play some good competition. And then we'll return back here in early March and start kind of our home slate of the season. Conference schedule starts the end of March. The league's very competitive. It's going to be really tough this year, so we're definitely excited about that challenge. But no, it'll be here before we know it. We think about the end of February, but the off season seems to fly by, and before you know it, we're practicing again and getting ready to play. So it's awesome.
So you guys hope to be competitive in the conference this year, but who else do you see being competitive in the conference this year?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the most competitive the league's been in my 3 years. You look at the teams that finished at the top last year. Franklin, who we're playing tonight in soccer, has won the regular season in the last 2 years. They bring a lot of their players back, so they're going to be a very, very solid team. Transylvania had a young team last year. They finished in second place in our league, so they'll be very competitive. But just the middle of the league, there's a lot of older players, a lot of returning players. So top to bottom, the Heartland's a very, very competitive conference. And again, our goal is to win the league, and we know it's going to be very challenging, but hopefully coming off of last year, the experience we've had, we're going to be prepared to go in there and be very competitive.
Well, Coach, we certainly look forward to seeing you guys play this spring, and best of luck this coming spring. Looking forward to it.
Appreciate it, Kurt. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much, Coach. That's Coach Adam Rosen, the head coach of the Fighting Engineers men's baseball team. Taking a timeout here, it's halftime as the Fighting Engineers women's soccer team, they are drawn 0-0 here at halftime. One more half left to go here as Franklin and Rose-Hulman stick with us here on Indiana SRN.
Awesome.
Getting set for the second half here on Indiana SRN. I'm Kurt Darling. Thank you so much for joining us as the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers in women's soccer action. Currently tied at 0 with the Franklin Grizzlies. Again, an HCAC conference action here. Again, the Rose-Hulman certainly can't afford to have a draw here if they want to at least have a shot at the conference championship this season, but we'll have to see how this plays out if they can try and get in the back of the net here for the final 45 minutes. Rose-Hulman had 10 shots taken in that first half. 4 of them were officially on target. And a handful of them, 2 of them by Kiana Martin. You had 1 by Riley Heasley. That was from about 30 yards out, an excellent strike by her. And then you also had 1 shot on goal by Camille Clark. Some of the regular starters back in here for Rose-Hulman, but one in particular, Emma Johns, is in here for the first time this evening. She'll start the final 45 minutes here in this second half. Johns had 2 goals against Manchester just a week ago here on this very pitch. Emma Johns, one of the freshman strikers who certainly has a lot of potential here over her career at Rose-Hulman. Rose-Hulman dominated time of possession in the midfield in that first half. In fact, they had the ball 46% of the time. Rather, actually, Franklin dominated time of possession in the midfield, 46% of the time in the midfield to 36% by Rose-Hulman. Still, though, Rose-Hulman has been able to get a lot more opportunities as far as shots are concerned. As I mentioned, they took 10 in the first half. Franklin only had 1 in that opening half. That was taken by Caitlin Duff in the early going. She only played about 20 minutes of the half overall. And now we have flipped sides of the field here as McKenna Mundy comes away with that one. Mundy had 3 saves in those first 45 minutes of this match. But Rose-Hulman has had several very well put together attacks that have not been able to connect. So much so that they've had 2 shots that were on goal go off the top of the crossbar. Meanwhile, Hicks with an excellent run will push that out, and that will be a corner kick coming up for Rose-Hulman. But as I mentioned, one of those was a ball off the crossbar off of the foot of Lauren Marcourt, who dominated time of possession on the attacking side for Rose-Hulman in that opening 45. And now she will be taking the corner. Marcourt sends it in. Loose ball in the penalty area. And Marcourt will track it down after it's deflected back out. She crosses it in again this time. And Fodor unable to get a good foot on that one. And Clark will come back out and reset things. So it looks like Clark has been moved to about the center mid position here for Rose-Hulman. She was one of the attackers in that first 45. And now you have Johns on the right wing here. And so now you have Johns playing in the midfield as well as one of the fluid attackers as well. And you again have Hicks and Choi starting on the front line here for Rose-Hulman this second half. Here's Hicks. She has a big opening. Hicks tries to cross it in. Nobody home that time. Rose-Hulman again looking for their 5th conference win here tonight. They certainly need a win here to at least stay within a slim chance of the conference championship, but it will certainly be tough because they also need some help. They do not control their own destiny in that regard, as Hanover and Mount St. Joe are both undefeated in conference play. They will both face off with each other at the end of the season in what will likely be a conference regular season championship game before they go to the conference tournament. Speaking of the conference tournament, that will start on October 28th. And depending on how the standings shake out, that will depend on who faces who, as there's a big shot on goal, that time by Marquardt from just outside the 18, and that's handled there by Mundy. Adex Bixler back in this time. Rose-Hulman again on the attack. Marquardt tries to send it in. Another shot on goal by her from just outside the 18, and another save there by Mundy. So Rose-Hulman again racking up a lot of shots taken, just as they have done match in and match out. That's indicative of the fact that they had taken 238 shots overall this season coming into tonight. They've added 12 more to that total so far here in this one. First 5 minutes are gone here of this second half. And you have to think Rose-Hulman bound to have one of these shots find the back of the net with how many that they are taking. Corner coming up here for Rose-Hulman. Sent in. Shot up just to the outside, that time off of the foot of Megan Fodor. What an opportunity right there by Rose-Hulman. Just off target was that shot. And that was one of the better opportunities that they have had this evening. That one just slips to the outside of the right upright of the goalpost. Now their 13th shot on the night. Tipped up again. Rose-Hulman not backing down on the attack. Hicks has an opening. Fires. That is just into the knee there of the back line that time. Johns this time. Top up again. And Franklin finally able to clear it back out into midfield only for a matter of moments. Here's Clark. Pushes it ahead. And Franklin comes away with it. Duff works it now to her teammate Barker. Barker ahead to Claypool. She's onside. Claypool tries to find an opening. Crossed in. Just a little wide that time. Nobody home to try and get the follow-up opportunity. And Franklin lets a huge opportunity slip through their fingers to try and get one up here on Rose-Hulman. So Madison Claybrook again with an excellent run that time. Meanwhile, an excellent run here by Hicks. But she just gets her pocket picked there by Caitlin Hewitt. It goes out of play for a throw-in here for Rose-Hulman. Madison Claypool, again, as I mentioned, had a heck of a run that time by Rose-Hulman, but nobody was there to try and get the follow-up opportunity on her cross in front of goal, as Lily Dora could not get a hand on it there for Rose-Hulman. And through all that, and through that attack as well, Franklin did not come away with an official shot. Again, that is a big opportunity missed. Rose-Hulman set to make another substitution here as Kiana Martin, the senior midfielder, will come back into the ball game. Choi tries to find a cross inside, but not the right angle there to try and find Johns. And a goal kick coming up here for Franklin. So Martin will check back into the ball game here for Rose-Hulman. She had an excellent first half. In fact, she had 2 shots taken, both of them on target. Whenever she had an opportunity, she played the full 45 in that first half, so she got a little bit extra rest here through these first 10 minutes of the second half. Touch inside, Choi. And that was an excellent feed there by the midfield of Rose-Hulman to try and find Choi, but she couldn't quite find an opening. And in the follow-up there as well, she mishandles. Goal kick again here for Franklin. So Rose-Hulman, in like manner with Franklin College, letting a few opportunities slip through their grasp. Far side throw in here by Allie Smith, the freshman. She also had some good minutes in that first half. Crossed in, just a little bit out of the reach there of Choi, who tried to head it forward. Tangled up in some traffic that time. It'll be a free kick for Franklin, as Caitlin Duff couldn't quite keep the handle there, as well as Lauren Barker. Speaking of Barker, she has Bixler. Bixler with a strike inside. Some pressure being applied here by Claybrook. And it gets pushed out of bounds. And a throw in here for Franklin College. Caitlin Hewitt will do the honors now. So Franklin has been able to get in close over the last couple of attempts. Curry facing a double team right now. She has to evacuate that. And now Hewitt crosses it into the 18. It's pushed back out by the back line of Rose-Hulman. Tracked down here by Price. Bixler. Good ball handling in the middle as she trips up Hicks. And that'll be a free kick here for Rose-Hulman as Hicks hits the deck. Hicks is chomping at the bit to try and get another goal. She's scored 7 so far this season. Here's Vianney Garcia, a long line drive to find Hicks inside. And Hicks tries to redirect it towards one of her defenders, and she does. So Camille Clark, again, who played one of the attacks, now playing the center mid position. In the midfield here is Baker. Baker tried to set up Duff, but the defense of Rose-Hulman has been sticky here so far. Moses working back and forth with Hewitt. John's able to intercept for a moment. Curry tries to send it up. Claybrook trying to track it down, but Garcia able to clear it out. With some urgency here is Lauren Barker. Barker gets around the back, crosses it up. Top of the 18, Bixler tries to get a boot on it, nothing there. And so Rose-Hulman's been put on their heels the last couple of times here, but yet Franklin still has not been able to get a shot off since the early minutes of the first half. Choi, long ball over to Johns. Johns crosses it up to Hicks, feeds herself. She has an opening. Can she cross it in? Hicks, long-angled shot. No one there to get the assist as well. Johns, though, on the follow-up, and it's pushed back out into the midfield. Man, that was another big opportunity missed by Rose-Hulman. Hicks had a really good touch to herself, but fed it a little bit too much, and that gave her an awkward angle to try and get back the other way. Vianney Garcia working the center mid. Back up comes Johnson. Marquardt has Hicks. Now back to Johnson again. Johnson puts the long ball now to Johns. Johns tips it up now, finds Choi. Johns again crosses it up now to Hicks. Hicks with an interesting ball inside, and coming up to get it there is Mundy, as Marquardt just was not quite there again. That was a nifty touch there by Hicks to feed it to Marquardt, who was coming onside. But Mundy again with some sure hands comes away with it. Mundy looking for her second shutout of the season in a row, mind you. It would rather be her third shutout if they were able to come away with a goal here on Rose-Hulman. And Mundy did not allow a goal against Defiance just a few days ago. That was a 6-0 win for Franklin College. Claybrook puts it ahead now to Duff. She tries to feed it to herself, but it'll be easily handled there by Dora. So Lily Dora will put it back in. And in speaking of shutouts, Dora trying to get what could be her fourth shutout of the season here this evening if Rose-Hulman is able to get one up on Franklin. The Grizzlies will make a substitution here whenever the officials see fit. Up top, shot up there, nicely done there by Ella Johnson, but still just as well by Mundy, who gets another save. That's now the 7th shot on goal here this evening by Rose-Hulman of the 15 that they have taken. Bixler, intercepted by Choi. She has Marquardt on the far sideline. Marquardt breaks the ankles of the defender, puts it inside. Hicks, back again, Choi shot, then it goes wide again. What an interesting sequence right there by Rose-Hulman. Marquardt sets up Hicks, and that was a nice feed here to Choi. Again, you have Marquardt, then Hicks and Choi, and just off the mark there, that one on that shot taken. Shot number 16 on the night. Choi coming in relief. She did not get the start tonight, but she has played the majority of the last 40 or 50 minutes or so of this contest. So we play on with zeros on the board. Garcia now has Clark. Clark tries to set up Choi here on the near sideline. Nearly mishit there by Megan Moses along the back line for Franklin. She puts it out of play, and a throw-in coming up here for the Engineers. They're quick on the draw that time, and they'll be quick on the draw again here for the throw-in. Inside the penalty area, Marquardt just gets a little too much pressure there from the defense of Franklin. So Garcia again to Rolog. And now Clark Here's Kiana Martin. And she gets her pocket picked there by Franklin just for a while. And now back in the midfield again, up to Hicks. Hicks tries to push it outside to Marcourt, but it's intercepted by Franklin. They put it out of play again. Rose-Hulman has turned up the pressure big time here on the defense of Franklin. Again, 16 shots taken so far by Rose-Hulman. 7 of them on goal, only 1 shot taken by Franklin. Crossed up. Good defense there in the penalty area by Franklin. Clark has it outside. Set up inside there by Camille Clark again. And Johnson gets it back to Clark also. Clark pushes the issue. Gets to the 18, pushes outside. She tries to find an opening to cross. She keeps it in play for a moment. Hicks comes up with it, and now Johns. So Rose-Hulman able to evade the defense there just a little while. And now a throw in again here for the Engineers. Here's Martin, tipped up. Missed the header that time, did Choi. Off the rebound, Hicks pushes inside and sends that one wide again. Rose-Hulman's last 3 shots have all gone to the right side of the right goalpost. And now we have another corner. Long ball sent in. Hicks tries to get the header. That's mishit, but Marcourt on the rebound. And that goes off of the back net and out of play. A few more subs coming in here for Franklin College. Among them, Annika Horton, the freshman, getting her first minutes of the evening. Also, Jada Tooley, the senior midfielder, coming back in relief of a few players as well. Coming out of the ball game will be Madison Claybrook. She had an excellent attack earlier on in this half, but couldn't quite find the back of the net. So here's a goal kick for McKenna Mundy. Franklin have had virtually no possession at all here over the last 10 minutes. It has been all Rose-Hulman on the attack. Marcourt gets it stolen away by Bixler. And trying to come up this time is Franklin, but coming way out of goal there was Dora to push it back into the midfield. Johns pushes the issue now on the near side, and that's easily run down by Moses. Moses sends it out, and it's going to be a goal kick. They're going to say that was off of Johns out of the goal line. Rose-Hulman desperately looking for a goal now here as we push towards the final 20 minutes of this contest. Same thing goes here for Franklin. Again, on paper, Rose-Hulman considered the favorite here in this match. But Franklin, again, looking for their 4th win of the year, but they have drawn 6 of their matches. And it could be number 7 here if the issue holds as it is at the moment. In fact, Franklin has the most drawn matches out of any other team in the conference this year. Here's Hicks. Has Johns. Johns back to Hicks at the 18. Has an opening. Winds up, and that is just off the head that time of Rolog. Franklin has been stout on the defensive back line here whenever Rose-Hulman has had an opportunity. Shot number 19 there by Hicks. Franklin now getting a little bit of an opportunity here, pushing it again, and Dora comes out on top there. So Annika Horton, again the freshman coming in here, getting some minutes after sitting the entirety of the first half. She was the attacking player there for Franklin. Horton already has 1 goal on the year. She is a native of South Vienna, Ohio. And now Franklin able to kind of control the pace here over the last couple of minutes after having played on their heels. They've been on the receiving end of nearly 20 shots here by Rose-Hulman. They have been absolutely stellar on the attack. But as such, Franklin has been just as stellar on defense. Kira Hicks putting pressure that time there on Diana Rolog. Hicks again. Johns gets the steal away here for Rose-Hulman. Johns looking for an opening. It's touched out, and they're going to say that was off of Johns. It'll be a throw in for Franklin. Franklin pushed into a corner here, and again, it'll be another one as we get another substitution for Rose-Hulman. Jaden Gibson, number 28 there for the Engineers, coming back in. She played the entirety of the first half and is the specialist on services as well as corner kicks for Rose-Hulman. Finding Hicks off the throw-in. Loose ball in the penalty area. It's touched out, and that'll be a corner kick coming up here for Rose. And Gibson quick over to the corner here to try and set things up. Gibson off the header, headed up there by Bixler. And Franklin able to get things back into the midfield. Horton tries to track it down, but Garcia there for Rose-Hulman. At the next dead ball, Rose-Hulman will have Alex Adams check into the ball game for the first time here. She had a goal against Manchester. Choi crosses across her body there that time, and Mundy with another save off a shot on goal. That is shot number 20 tonight by Rose-Hulman to just 1 shot taken by Franklin. That is a staggering stat that is lopsided in one's favor, but yet we only have zeros as far as goals scored, as Kira Hicks will come out of the ball game. Again, some excellent attacks by her in both halves here tonight. Gibson sends that one long up. Inside, Marquardt puts that one a little bit wide off the left side. Another excellent service in there by Jaden Gibson, but couldn't quite Marquardt. That does not go down as a shot by Marquardt, as it was touched just out. Meanwhile, we are within the final 20 minutes of this contest. Rose-Hulman back in control here. Gibson in a foot race here with Hewitt, and it goes out of play. Quick throw in here by the Grizzlies. Time is of the essence now here for both of these squads, and a free kick for the Grizzlies here deep in their own territory. So the free kick opted back to the goalkeeper here for Mundy. Bixler serves it up here for Horton, but Garcia stands right in between her and Dora, who comes out and clears that back in. Franklin have not been able to get anywhere close to the penalty area here in the last 20 minutes. Grizzlies send it in now. Here's Norris. Here's Marquardt at the top, trying to find an opening, leaves it for Gibson. Gibson tries to find a cross alongside, and that's handled by Mundy. Gibson that time looking to find Alex Adams, who's now playing the center striker position, but no dice. Here's Choi again. Seeing nothing, gets it back to Clark to reset. Clark now applies some pressure, puts that off the side of Maggie Matthews, and that goes out of play. Adams now to Martin. And Rose-Hulman just not being able at all to find any openings so far. They have had a couple of shots come inches to within getting to the back of the net, but they have not been able to do so. Again, in the first half, Lauren Marquardt had a couple shots actually go off the crossbar. And in the meantime, Rose-Hulman have also had a couple very close opportunities, but McKenna Mundy has been ironclad in goal tonight. Now 8 saves for her. Gibson on the corner, sends it up. Just missing the header that time was Fodor. And put back in. Choi puts it up. Will it go in? Yes, it does! The stalemate finally broken! Katie Choi, with her 3rd goal of the season, puts one up on Franklin here. The perfect time for a goal here for Rose-Hulman. As we take a look at this again, served up there by Smith, and Choi just able to find the far post. And this time, it deflects in the right direction. Huge goal there in the 35th minute of the second half. Pivotal goal right there by Katie Choi after we've been at a stalemate of goose eggs for the majority of this match. But now, if you're Rose-Hulman, you can certainly expect Franklin to try and turn up the wick a little bit as far as possession is concerned, since they have to try and equalize. So again, Katie Choi, the sophomore striker, getting the goal in the 35th minute, her 3rd of the season. It's also the 21st shot taken tonight. 9th shot on goal here for Rose-Hulman. Here this contest. Katie Choi again appeared in 17 matches as a freshman, scoring a few goals. Franklin doing their best to try and stay in between the attackers and their goal line. And now a corner for Rose-Hulman again here with 13 minutes left in this match. Marquardt to take it again. She serves it up. Fodor gets a little bit of a piece of that off of her noggin, but in the wrong direction and out of play. A goal kick for Franklin. So stating the obvious, Franklin can ill afford to give up anything else here with 12 minutes left to go. Chipped up here by the Grizzlies. Stolen away here by Smith. Marquardt tries to push it ahead to Choi. She's able to track it down a little bit, but a little bit behind her that time. But still, Rose-Hulman able to play some keep away here. Johnson pushes it over to Clark. Clark has a little bit of help here in Gibson. Gibson gets a favorable bounce. Trying to find an opening here. Little too far that time and a goal kick. Choi's goal in the 35th minute. They're 26th as a team this season. And now Kira Hicks will check back in at the next dead ball. We also have a couple subs come in for Franklin as well. They will include Bixler, who has certainly been stellar tonight in the midfield. We'll also see Amira Curry check back in as well. So there's our dead ball. Our subs come in. And Alex Adams will come out after getting a few minutes there at the center striker position. Hicks will check back in after getting a breather. Alex Adams turning in an excellent 10-minute stint right there. She had a couple chips inside there for the penalty area, but now Franklin College really going to try and apply some pressure here as we approach the final 10 minutes. Bixler, good touch inside, but nobody home. Crossed a pot there that time by Norris. And now up the far sideline it came Marquardt for a quick second. Now Hicks gets a good touch upfield. Curry looks ahead now to Norris, and she loses the handle out. A throw in for Rose-Hulman. 10 minutes left to go. All Rose has to do is just hang on. If they can get another goal, that would certainly help. Camille Clark, a good strike up the middle this time. Choi has Marquardt. Marquardt looks at Kira Hicks up the middle, and Hicks can't quite get the handle on that. Time dwindling away here for Franklin to try and find the equalizing goal. Again, Franklin have only had one shot all match long. That was in the 42nd minute of the first half, not even 3 minutes in. And then that has been the extent of the attack for the Grizzlies so far today. Of course, again, that's not without trying, though. Franklin have had a couple opportunities close to the goal, but they have not been able to get any official shots off of their boots. Bixler tries to push to the 18. Somehow keeps possession of the ball and is able to clear it out to Price. Price looks now to Claybrook. Nothing doing there as Bixler will take it back out. Price looking into the middle. Nobody home that time as Hicks will take over possession for Rose-Hulman with Gibson. Gibson gets it back across midfield, able to keep the pressure up. Franklin coming back with it now. Across the middle here as Rolag. Bixler, long ball. Can't quite track down the far attacker. Both teams volleying back and forth here in the middle of the pitch. Coming away with it is Johnson. Johnson tries to find Gibson, stolen away here by Hewitt. Hewitt, quick down the near sideline. Loose ball, chipped out, and it is a Franklin throw-in. Hewitt puts it back in. And as you heard the cry out there by Jennifer Jackson, the head coach of Franklin, 6.5 minutes left to play. And Jennifer Jackson coming here to Franklin College after previously being at Shorter University, which she helped take from NAIA to NCAA Division II competition. So she is certainly no stranger to building a program, which is something that Franklin has needed over the last several seasons, ever since they won back-to-back conference championships in women's soccer back in 2016 and 2017. Rose-Hulman, in like manner, has also won only 2 conference championships in women's soccer in the last 2 decades. Their last championship coming in 2019. Their first championship coming in Coach Amy Hellowell's very first season, all the way back in 2009. Five and a half minutes left to play. Kira Hicks with a couple headers there to keep it in play here. Of course, as you notice with Kira Hicks, she towers over many of the players here on this pitch. She uses that height to her advantage regularly as the senior striker on this squad. Part of the reason why she leads the team in goals scored, she has 7 so far this season, has not been able to find the goal so far here in this game, but she was a second-team All-HCAC selection in 2022. Of course, with her long frame, she also competes in the triple jump and long jump on the women's track and field squad in the spring. Time ticking away here for Franklin. Rose-Hulman looking for their 6th win on the year, their 4th in conference play. Rose-Hulman had a tough non-conference slate in which they won only one of their non-conference matches. They either had losses or draws in other ones. In fact, their only non-conference win this year, rather 2 non-conference wins this year, coming against Knox and Milliken. Then they opened conference play with a loss to Mount St. Joe. That was a 2-1 loss, but then they bounced back with a 2-0 win on the road against Earlham. If there's one thing that has been beneficial for Rose-Hulman here over the latter half of this season, as Hicks tries to post up there with Mundy, and Mundy almost loses the handle but gets it back and clears things back into the midfield. But if there's one thing that has been beneficial for Rose-Hulman over the latter half of this season, it's been the fact that they have only had 2 road matches in their last 9 to close the season. They were on the road at Transylvania just a couple of days ago. They are at home for tonight's match, as well, obviously. Then they'll be back home again this weekend against Bluffton. But then they'll close out the season on the road with probably their toughest match of the season, which will be against Hanover. Hanover undefeated in conference play so far this year. 3 minutes left to play. Franklin College, again, trying to find the equalizer, but Rose-Hulman has been in control, possessing the ball for the majority of this second half. Franklin will have 2 more matches. This is their final road game of the season. They will finish off the regular season and conference play against Earlham this weekend on the 21st. And then they will have Transylvania come to their home pitch on October 25th to close out the regular season before going in to the HCAC postseason tournament. Franklin now pushing the issue a little bit. Rose has to be careful as Lily Dora gets the push ahead that time from Garcia. 2 minutes left to play. Rose, all they have to do is hang on here. Marquardt along the far sideline tries to set it up for herself, but pushes a little too much. It goes out of play, but she forces Franklin to have to go the length of the field again as we approach the final 90 seconds. Again, Rose able to go up 1-0 off of a goal in the 35th minute by Katie Choi, who has had a stellar game here today in relief. She did not get the start tonight, but ever since coming in at about the 25th minute of the first half, she has played every minute since and has provided some excellent energy on that front line.
One minute remaining.
And there you have it. Final 60 seconds. Rose now in full survival mode here to try and come away with the home W. Again, this is their penultimate home game. Their final home game will be this weekend on the 21st against Bluffton. Gibson tries to hang on here, trying to keep it in play just for a moment. And finally it results in a throw-in for Franklin. Final 20 seconds here. Franklin needs to get it upfield and fast. Nothing doing there. Rose-Hulman able to push it back into the penalty area. And hope has run out here for Franklin. And so the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers come away with a big conference win here this evening to at least keep themselves in pace with the rest of the squad for the conference title. We'll see how that plays out as the rest of the season goes on. 2 games left to play here for the Engineers. They have Bluffton again and then Hanover to close out the regular season on the road. Final score here at the Rose-Hulman Intramural Field. Rose-Hulman 1, Franklin 0. Special thanks to our producer Ben Wood as well as our cameraman Hutch Norris doing an excellent job on the 1s and 2s this evening. I'm Kurt Darling saying so long till next time. You have been watching Rose-Hulman Soccer here on IndianaSRN.